All right, you guys, there's a new article out of housingwire.com by Brooklyn Hahn that caught my eye, and it's about Zillow. Yes, Zillow facing another lawsuit. And this one could have some real implications for buyers, sellers, and agents all across the country. So let's walk through what this is all about, because if it plays out the way the plaintiffs are hoping, it could shake up how a lot of real estate deals get done. But real quick, before we dive in, if you haven't heard about it yet, we put out a free weekly newsletter called Deal Watch. It's where we cover all things real estate for flippers, flip trends, price cut data, and all things investors and buyers need to know that don't make it into the headlines. If you're not subscribed, grab the link in the description below. It is free. All right, you guys, so according to Housing Wire, this case was filed in the U.S. District Court in Seattle. The plaintiff is a man named Alucard Taylor, who bought a home in Portland, Oregon in 2022. Here's what happened. He clicked the Contact Agent button on a Zillow listing, thinking he was getting in touch with the listing agent, but instead he was routed to a Zillow-affiliated buyer's agent. Now, if you've ever used Zillow, you've probably seen that button. It looks pretty straightforward. You'd assume it's connecting to the person who's actually listing the property, but according to the lawsuit, that's not how it works. Instead, buyers are often sent to Zillow's network of Premier or Flex agents, and Zillow collects a fee when those agents close deals. The complaint goes further. It says buyers are told these agent services are free, but in reality, the buyer's agent still receives a commission if the deal closes. And if that agent is part of Zillow's Flex program, they're reportedly paying up to 40% of their commission back to Zillow. None of this, the lawsuit argues, is clearly disclosed to buyers or sellers. So why does this matter to you? Well, the lawsuit claims this setup can inflate home prices. If a seller knows they're paying both a listing agent and a buyer's agent, in some cases that buyer's agent is kicking a big slice of their commission back to Zillow. The costs get baked into the price of the home, and result, buyers end up footing the bill, often without realizing it. And here's another layer. Because flex agents have to give so much of their commission away, the lawsuit argues they have no practical flexibility to negotiate on behalf of their buyers. In other words, they're under pressure to close at full price so they can salvage their own paycheck. That's not exactly the kind of incentive alignment most buyers think they're getting. Now, to be fair, Zillow has responded. In a statement shared with Housing Wire, they said the complaint misrepresents how Zillow operates and that they believe buyers and sellers deserve the choice to work with an agent committed to their best interests. That's the official line. But the bigger picture here is that this isn't an isolated case. The same law firm behind this, Hagens Berman, was also involved in the Moral Commission lawsuit, which is already challenging how real estate commissions are structured nationwide. If this new case gains momentum, it could push the industry towards more transparency in how agents are connected to buyers and how commissions are disclosed. And this is where I think it's important for anyone in real estate, buyers, sellers, investors, pay attention, because lawsuits like this don't just stay in the courtroom, they ripple through the entire housing ecosystem. If agent referral systems are forced to change, it could impact how homes get listed online, how negotiations work, and potentially even how commission rates are set in the future. So we'll keep watching this one. It's early. And think about it, if referral systems like Zillow's end up being restructured, it could open the door to more direct buyer to listing agent relationships. That might mean lower transaction costs in some cases because sellers wouldn't be on the hook for as many layers of commission. On the flip side, it could also mean buyers lose out on the guidance of an independent agent who's meant to represent their best interests. So the industry would need to figure out how to balance transparency with true buyer protection. For investors, especially those in the flipping game, even small changes in commission structure can swing the math in a huge way on a potential deal. If commissions become more flexible, or if buyers and sellers gain more negotiation power, margins might improve in certain markets. But if lawsuits like this create uncertainty in how portals operate, it could also slow deal flow while agents and consumers adapt. And let's not forget the competitive landscape. If Zillow is forced to change how its premier agent and flex programs operate, competitors like Realtor.com, Redfin, and even newer listing platforms could smell opportunity. Can you smell it? We might see a wave of innovation or at least aggressive marketing around transparent agent matching and lower cost transactions. Bottom line, the lawsuit isn't just about one buyer in Portland. It's about the larger question of who controls the connection between buyers and agents and at what cost. If that system shifts, it could ripple through pricing, commission standards, and even the speed at which homes move in the market. Additional bottom line, this could be good news for buyers if transparency goes up, or flippers, anybody who is investing in property or buying property, but bad news for agents relying on referral networks and those juicy 3% commissions. I want to hear from you guys, though. Leave it in the comments. Do you feel like the way that commission structures are currently set up for real estate agents, buyers and sellers typically getting around 3%, is that fair, or are we due in for a change? Should we shake up the market? Think about it like this. If you have $1 million home and you have a buyer's agent and a listing agent that you need to pay up to 6% for, that's $60,000. Do you think that that's actually worth it? Maybe from the listing perspective, I could see that happening. But from a buyer's agent, just walking into a house, showing it to their client, and their client saying, yes, I'm ready to go. Is that worth it? Leave it down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys on that one. But like I said, we're going to keep an eye on this one. If you've ever clicked the contact agent button on Zillow and wondered why you get a random agent instead of the listing agent, well, now you know there might be a lawsuit with your name on it, meaning you could be part of this class action suit. And one more reminder before I wrap up, if you want updates on cases like this and how they affect house flipping, investing, buyer strategy, make sure you're subscribed to Deal Watch. It's free, it's weekly, and it'll keep you one step ahead of these market shifts. The link is in the description below. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if you've had this experience on Zillow, and then also what you think about commissions in general. All right, guys, see you in the next one. Bye.